Unit number 2, Material Collection and Note Taking. Contain introduction, practical hints for material collection, method of note taking, making an outline. Introduction. Research methodology is a system of the method is used for the collection data, information, etc. for the solution of the problem identified for research. In order to being a research work, we have a consult relevant source in the information. The sources provided data gathers for the observation in interpretation, mailing, etc. Particularly for philosophical research, mostly the data is the collection from the journal articles, research report, conference paper, thesis, project report, etc. The researcher should be capable to sorting out the relevant material useful the research work advanced by this source. After determine the reliability and the usefulness of the source, we will have a take notes by the it. In this unit, we are making a detailed study of the method of the notes taking is the process of research. Practical hints for material collection. Material collection. Collection of data is the major task of a student. It comprises the finding of sources and the gathering materials for the topic. Collection of a data collection peers from deep sea. Ganafathy 2003 1 to 3 identify the waste sources is the first step in collecting of data. Standard authority, realizable and published source are to be the preferred. One has a award very popular on scientific based and the unpublished materials. In choosing the publications, to care should be taken to identify standard publications. Bibliography card and notes card are prepared gathering views and ideologies different authors. With one's ideas, the summary of the ideas of the word by word question and the note down the note guard. With this card to ready to write and present the paper. Credibility of material. In the process of research work, good materials collection from reliable source is only the among the different method. Nevertheless, will doing research it has enough significance since the accuracy the talking notes will have to save a lot time while preparing the final report. Bibliography etc. It is the different method of note taking the very various type of note taking of the summary, paragraphing, precise and quotation and the equally importance. By inhering the proper method of note taking with would save lot time is the course of research. It is important for of the know reliability of the materials that we based data in information used in our research. Not every materials we good should be used, since they may be predicated the motivate some significant question to find out the reliability of the already existing research material are. In what source did you find the articles? What is the reviews by a set in the field before publication? Does the article have a started research question or problem? Or can you determine the focus of the work? In the articles logically organized and the easy to follow? In what way this relevant to the research problem? Are the procedure clear enough that you can reviewed the work and get similar result. Identify books and the article relates to the research. This can be done through browsing the latest is edition in the encyclopedias to the subject matter using the search engines of the internet. Make sure that these books and the articles are available to you the either your library in the Mary institution nearby the here you can access them. Author based research call for deception between primary and the secondary sources. You can also include online sources provided they are the academy standard. Keeping record of the source use spotted card for entering then bibliographic information of the work whether books or article. Choose the most relevant editor of the best translation choices and the available in the library. Note down the completed and the phrases reference for books and the articles from the start in the card incluses in the shelf where they can be located. Arrange the word of the alphabetical order according to the surname of the author. If the study of the another author based in the maintain two set of code, one of the primary sources and the other for the secondary sources. Arrange the secondary source and the alphabetical order according to the surname of the author. Eventually, you will transfer the into the your bibliography. Necessary data for a books. Name of the library, call number, author, surname followed by the given name, title of the books in item list, detail of publication, personal remarks, specimen, bibliographic card for a book, JDV library. Necessary data for an essay from an editor work. Name of the library, call number, name of the edited work in italics. Editor first name followed by the surname, author surname followed by the given name, title of the articles in double quoted with exact page number, detail of publication, personal remark. Specimen card for a article from a journal. Name of the library, name of the journal in italics, author surname followed by the given name, title of the articles after the double quote with the text, page number, detail of the publication, including volume and the number if any, personal remarks. Method of note taking. Method of note taking. The clarity of the spotting a research work in the influenced by the reader in view. How technical the problem is the research in the hold up of other over respect the technique. His command over the language and the form and the fullness of notes of the data and the documentation for keeping a cure record we need high the quality note and this shows the importance of note taking in research. Thus note taking is the important part while writing a research paper. This recorded in the information of the source that we will be reported our research work therefore. It is the necessary that the should critically and the evaluate the text of the article before we select them, then make necessary choices before taking notes of them. Otherwise, there a change to the word and of the information which will be time consuming. The take effective note first we should understanding orthography the information contained in the sources. The notes should be take from it is the should develop knowledge and the comprehension of the subject. Thus going through the sources making up the decision about what is useful for the papers and writings notes on the making decisions should encourage of the resort to things more deeply and the understand the relevance of the notes taken by the him research topic. Again, he should also sort out the material in notes from the other information surrounding in the research work. Care should be taken to record in the such a way that I can easily sorted recognized and the incorruption in the paper. We should take note is such a way that verifies, summarized and the importance point of its sources. Main points has be the stress in the notes. Importance point is the earth source. Main point has be to the stress in the notes and it should be clear and the concise as possible. The detail or the uni necessary to the research area should be avoided. It is not even necessary to write complete sentences we often completed word. We can use abbreviations abbreviation with the saves a lot of time, but it should be used in such way that I can understand them is not when consult it later. One important things to be remember during note taking is that we should always remember to be record the page number in the text or articles from which our note is taken. As for a possible, all bibliographical detail has been to added to each source. If possible, we should also try to review the chapter article after note taking to us to make sure the have the missed any important point and also to see that the notes are the accurate and complete. The notes are the recorded in such a way that I can easily located in the point related a particular subject easily and readily identify the sources from which spice in importance is taken. Thus, the requirement of the good note taking system area as follow. It should facilitate ready location of the recorded information when required. It should allow flexible handling and the organize in the information and all the notes related for a particular concept to a topic should be available together. There are different method in the taking notes. Some research take note by the hand index card in the sheets paper of the notebooks. Some other preference using computer to the notes as the wheel sub there the as well improved in curricula transmission the material from the source. Will collecting data by the taking notes we should be the down first author full name and the complete title of the source. By doing this will be available located in some source easily will working from bibliography. Card style. If we are taking notes, the card should record is piece the information of the source is paired card. For is the source of completers bibliographical information has been to recorded in one card. which will other bibliographical card. Thus this is not only helpful for accuracy and the organization but also technically will completing the bibliography. If we are taking note on code, we should mention the name of the author as well, and the name of the book is the underlines. While taking down the matters, we should leave in the margin on the left side of the card. The card processing the material from and the articles from the books should first mention the name of the author and then the title of the articles in inverted commas with the work citizen underline and the page number. If they are the two author, we should mention of the name of the first author and the write the author it all quitters Helders and the management McGraw-Hill International Books Company, New Delhi, 1980, pre-120. It is the publication is an edited one we should used and the after the name. For multiple notes from the same source, we should recorded short from the little and author last name the upper right and the corner of his card. We should away record the page number from which the summaries idea paragraph says a direct quote has been taken lower right hand the corner. Material taken from journal should indicate the name of the author. Little the article within inverted commerce and also the volume detailed journal along with the page number. Relevance today Gandhi March New Delhi Gandhi Place Foundation well in order to facilitate organization and recognition information subject or topic heading on the card can be written in pencil to make note taking on card more converted and the easy sometimes to set card to used one source card and the second is known as the note card sources card the used for noting bibliographical information and the note card the used actual note taking. In the source card bibliography information should be recorded in the paper's bibliographical format. Author is names, titles of the books, the publisher's name, place and years one, and the note card information for the printer sources is recorded. The take it the flexible it the batters to the area single fact or the idea is card and use the only one side on card. The body of the card first the name of the author and the title of the books or article may be notes order of the well making and the mistake identify connected source card. The page number of the source from which the idea or phrase has been also is the noted thus be the suset together will be facilitated arranging the note approximately for drafting of the report. Notebook style. In this method, we should record all information on a single page or a series of pages in the notebook. We should write all the bibliographical details, including in the author, title, place of publications, publisher, and year the publication at the top of the page. Each source. Note should be recorded in the middle of the page, leaving where the markings. In the right hand marking page number, the source from which we have made the note has been the recorded the specific topic to which each pieces in the information related can be noted the left hand margin. For each source we counseling a new page can be allowed. Note can be listened according to topic also, but here can should be taken list the page number because otherwise it will be very confusing. Note taking in a computer. Note can be entered in a computer and this note will be handy. We can enter the notes into the word processor in separated file in one directory. Otherwise, we can enter all notes in a single file rendering new name of phrases as each new note. In the first method, in needed note can be moved to appreciate palace in our drop the crying and the pasting method. For a short paper, it is better to OPT the computer method, and if it is a longer which makes use many sources, it is better to OPT the card system because card system in the most suitable method of note taking. It meets all the requirement of a good recording system card and the tot, and so we can withstand holding as they are compact. They can be held easily and be the stored conveniently in box. In addition, the cards are most flexible with arranging, rearranging, grouping, and classifying information. Type of note taking. Different type of note taking include summary, phrase, quotation, and the phrases. Summary. If event to the general idea of a larger amount of the material, it is the better summarize it. These types of the note taking describe and the rewrites the source material without specific certain and the style of expansion, but it should be done with great care. Is the types of note taking we should try keep material as short as possible. Quotation mark may be provided for two phrases that cannot the paraphrased. Name of the author and page number also has been mentioned in the note. Paraphrase. It is a restating the material in the our own words, as he have a restated and the thought, meaning and the attitude of another person in our own word. Paraphrase may be considered and the most difficult type of the notes taking. In order to be should and perfect in paraphrasing, we should try to revise and the original in the out about in the same member of the word as possible. In text, citation may be the provided into the true source by the mentioning of the other and the page number in the paraphrases. Care should be taken while paraphrasing expansional word of the phrases or the original. It is the better written by the enclosing them within quotation marks. We should always try to avoid word by the copying as possible in this type of note taking. Paraphrasing will have the research to understand the author ideas rather than just mechanically copying them. Quotation. Direct quotation may be used for documentation of a major agreement. A footnote would not be sufficient, and where paraphrasing in the passage might cause Misinterpretation. The exact word of a author of the exact word from a official publication must be the quoted. Quotation note is the necessary become it is the enable and the capture opinion of the experted on the subject. It will also help us to show that we have carried out research in the area carefully and also so that the there of the authoritative opinion and the topic we have discussion of the research area. Where is a paragraphs and the sentences are the required to be a content from quotation which is very long. It is a permissible to omit section and the original passage by a procedure called ellipsis. Two indicated ellipses, three space full stops are interested, and the ellipse can be occur at the beginning or the end of a quotation. Use double quotation marks at the beginning and the ends quotation. We should never forget to the acknowledge the quotations by way the footnote or otherwise. Other rules to be followed while taking quotation notes includes we should always try a contest from the primary and the secondary sources. The contest material selected should be important and the well processed. We should always use accepted word of the source if at all possible. We should content key sentences or the short passages in instead of the entire paragraphs. Quotation marks should be used in the notes so as to distinguish and the summary and the paragraphs. If we downloading a text and talking quotation from into the our paper, we should always remember to place quotation mark around to the word taken from the source. Precious. This quick summary notes I can used to receive a article or a books to read and the objection the original source has been consideration here with precision and the directness so that the tone is the preserved. It is a better write at the precise note in our language but exceptional phrases from the original can be written here by including in the quotation mark. Documentation also should be provided. Good note taking will help us lot a inviting and the plagiarism which is a act of talking idea passes etc from a author and the presenting them a own writing plagiarize when they present the word of the idea other without making it clear that these are not their own word or ideas. In order to make sure that is have a not plagiarical we should see that the each other the phases of the ideas browse from the other sources of the credit to that source. Acknowledgement of the source is not which distinguishing of the solar from the plagiarist. In a MLM handbook from the rights of the research papers, Joseph Gibaldi has been mentioned of the difference from the plagiarism. According to him, the most blatant from the glimpsed is the obtained of the submit as our the own by paper written by the someone else. Other tense conceptation which a plagiarism included in the failure to give a private acknowledgement with the retracting paraphrasing another to wording when taking particular epi first and the when paraphrasing another argument of the presenting another the line thinking thus plagiarism is a failure to acknowledge borrowed material. In order to avoid plugins, we should always the make a list all the written and the source from which viewpoints we have used, the research work should be acknowledged the same. Acknowledgement may be made several webs in the bibliography within the text, either the specific reference of the parenthetical reference in a footnote which the contents of the acknowledgement. The most common and the series error in taking notes, the copy with wording of the source directly, either word for the work mean meaner change. This is the only prevents of the research in processing in the information fully into their mind, but also encouraged plugins since the notes fill their way directly into the paper. The best way to avoid this not to look at the sources of write or notes. I am not where we see used on words, including too many details of the note will the slow down of research work. If we are doing this, we are not distinguishing between significance of the insignificant information. Notes are means to be in concise. Direct quotation should be used only when we have a special purpose. It is we a direct quotation. We should copy up a quantitative. We should remember in the include page number the note. Otherwise, we will be the spend valuable times returning to the sources to the find page numbers. Note taking is the thus of the important phases of the process research and the help a lot of the saving of the time during the presentation of the research paper. Practical types for notes taking. Preparation a separate dozens of the each of the work. Prepare a sheet of the card to note down the citation which you think would quite to your paper. You need a practice in the art omission. Thought you may be tempted to take down the everything. Equip yourself with the technique like precise writing and paraphrasing. Avoid reproducing the word of the author interested. Try the employer your the one word. Remember to note down only those citations which your things cannot be said otherwise. Journal types. Read primary source carefully and the secondary source rapidly. It is an author-based research. Bringing reading from the books articles recently published on the theme of the author. It is the another author-based study. Look for studying idea pertaining to the subject, summarizable in the idea accurately. Take notes accurately by to giving reference in the extent page work and the edition. For passages taken were deemed to be quoted in the text, use standard card the give extent reference of the organize them thematically. For a summary, use the size paper divided into the three in equal parts. The left side the summary idea of the author, right side for your comment and observations, and the bottom for the technical for the cross reference to the card. Types for personal critical comments. Identify argument and the conclusion. Identify implication of argument. Identify assumption. Evaluating the true of the reason and the assumption. Evaluating support for conclusions. Identify arguments and the conclusion. To identify reasoning, we needed look for identical word to the conclusion. Some indicator word to the suit in the including statement of the suit must it is the evident obviously so does him and the there for example he must be older than 42. He has the daughter who is the 39 years old. When indicators were the absence, look for the relationship between the statement in a passage. Example, knowing the danger of the smoking is the sufficient of the stop people from smoking. Everybody knows the smoking causes lung cancer of the heart disease. One third of the population still smokes. When there is a conclusion in the passage, then it not content of the argument. Identifying implication of argument. This involved either of the two skills, parallel argument and the plank principles. Parallel arguments from a known domain help to the find of the flame of the arguments. A plank principle called the consistency in reasoning and the conclusion in all similar of the situation. The argument in the faulty in the example from a known domain for parallel structures of the argument can be shown to be faulty. Example, original argument, we have a hand the experience of the being divided by the sense. The street which a look bent when the strengths and the all information we get through out sense of the potential evaluation. Therefore, a sense experience is always unreasonable. Parallel arguments. We have all had experience of the wings slide of the that evil the lover life and that everyone the potentially a liar, therefore no one trustworthy. Application of principle to other cases may be so the principle needed of the modify of rejected. Example, killing is wrong. This is the principle implies that the killing in the self-defense is wrong. If you have a convinced that killing in the self-defense in the not wrong, then in the original principle has been undergo modification. Identification assumption. There are two types of the assumption underlying basic reason and the assumption and as understated conclusion. Assumption underlying basic reasons, the reasons provided for the argument are the based on an assumption. That is a no empirical study of the many study beyond disproved as the established. This is a fact. Example, the number is the accident will reduce when state measures of the penal list of the punishment are de- deployed by the governments. The underlying of the Egyptian is better information of the law directly related of the decrease in the number of the accident. Without any proofs, this claim that the reason from the high number of the accident and the lack of proper informant of law. Egyptian is unstated conclusions, a conclusion based of the practically dispersed permission can be the called assumption and the understated conquest. Example, the burglars must be have a left by the fire escapes. This person is a not building now but has been seen living is the building has been a there guarded posted at its interest. The conclusion is the not burglars must have is the fire palace but the permissions of the steel depression. It is likely that the girls were is sufficiently watchful, evaluating the trust of reason and Egyptian. The authority of the person in the subject in question, factors that the possibly discard to to the accurately of the person judgment. Other source either corresponding contracting on the person position. Evaluating support for conclusion. Every conclusion is supported by reason or reason. Conclusion may state supposed fact it is a dangerous of the device occur after of the drinking alcohol or the making recommendation you ought not the driver the car. Some argument introduce their conclusion with so are the therefore a conclusion need not be a last statement in the argument. Example, you have a take hapitum travelistic pill when the fairy they are the very effective against sickness and the you have always been in sick first when you have a traveled by sea. One way identify faulty reasoning are the thought the use of the principle some does not imply all. Example, some people say that the depiction and the violence of television has number effect of the abuse behavior. However, it was the so television did not affect behavior. Television is the advert things would never influence viewers to buy certain product. By we know that the does so it the cannot be true that television valuation does the affect behavior. Faulty reasoning. The fact is the add over thinking so the television effect view behavior is not good reason for accepting that everything all television effect views behavior. Another way the identify faulty reasoning in the look sufficient evidence. If people become healthy as the influence of the country increases, we should accept the population to be health there is the that 30 years but over the last 30 years new illness is the rich as chlorinic fatigue homes at the repaired appeared and we have become more the vulnerable to be decided such be the herd decided and the canal so is increased will be the country has been a not pursued improvement in the health of the populace faulty reasoning even if the some new diseases have the appears and the old diseases have the become more common during the last 30 years. It does not follow that the population is less healthy than the I was the 30 years ago. Become people maybe have a long periods of the good health before suffering from these diseases. A third way of the identify faulty reasoning is by verify is the correction the equated with cause. It is the above stated example claiming that the increases efficiency and the pursuit of the improvement in the health of the population. The argument has the flavors become it sources that become two things have the encouraged together. One has a causes the other and because a failed to consider other possible causes of the improvement in the health of the population. Making an outline after the notes are the taken carefully will read them to the getbirds and the eye views and the material then at the first step toward writing the paper preparation of the outline include the important question you have you want the address and the main divisions you want to make this help avoided materials and that thought understanding are the irrelevant to your papers but also focus on the materials that is relevant the outline devices are the point into the various groups coordinate of the main points subordinates of the sub points and the Discard trivia. Look at the journal structure, arrange the ideas and the notes according to this structure, looking for the order, progress, and the forcefulness. Subdivision. Avoid single subdivision to devise your always need a list to part this the means there can never be a without a b without two and a without a for the unimination having servers subdividuals one of the following scheme or the notation and the identification could be used.